What happened now?
Wow, we are live, ladies and gentlemen, here on RRR. We have a sensation. The genius is back, Pinoy Troll. Where does he give his comeback? Here on RRR, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alo de Winter. I'm here with Gerardo Risotto. That's also a really big honor for us because Riso, you are not really often on these live streams. And of course, my favorite bulldog, my favorite Nazi piece of shit, Wally. Wally, from Germany to the US, back to Jerusalem.
God damn.
It's November, ladies and gentlemen. It is November 2018 in the year of the drama, and RRR is still on. And as you can hear in the background, we got somebody on the panel today that is actually in the Philippines. You are actually in the Philippines. Jeffrey, I want to welcome you back to YouTube. And I would like to ask you, where are you? How are you? And what made you decide to get back to YouTube? Please go
well,
ahead.
well, right now I'm right here in the Olongapo City, so that's in Subic Bay, basically. Uh, so I'm doing pretty good. So moved into this place here in Olongapo, so it's a little bit cooler than where I was in Laguna. So
Do we
And
lose you?
Jeffrey, and Jeffrey, let me ask you: are you staying in the Philippines for good, or are you just there for a vacation?
I think
Oh,
his connection dropped.
maybe his
I mean,
connection dropped. Just try to get back in. I
yeah.
want to ask you
His
guys.
avatar's still there.
His avatar is still there, probably
Mm.
frozen. I want to ask you, Jerry Rizzo, because it's also very seldom that you go on live streams. I heard that you are Go Go Bobo. I heard that you are Jerry Go Go Bobo Risotto or something like that.
Yeah,
And
well, I'm absolutely flattered that there are now troll accounts after my name. There was one I saw today, Go Go Risotto.
what's
Which
up with that?
yeah, well, I'm flattered. I'm honoured that I've earned a troll account, which is I'm really pleased.
Hmm.
But
People actually
yeah, I
say that
decided.
you are trolling Frank still, and Frank is never. No, Frank is still talking about you all the time. He's so fucking traumatized, and I think you must feel honored because of that.
Oh, yeah, sure. But I suspect that this troll account, this Go Go Risotto, comes from JLB, because he's the one that's promoting this nonsense that I'm Go Go Bobo. Is it Go Go Bobo? That's his name, the little green man.
Go Go Bobo, yeah, Go Go Bobo.
Yeah.
Some people even think that I am somehow related to Go Go Bobo, and it is a person who has been based in Australia. I do not know if that's true or not, but
I
they
I
thought
believe
that
he
I'm
is Australian.
somehow. They thought that I'm somehow related to that person. They thought it's Bobby, and all I could say is yes, Bobby is my brother-in-law. That's what they keep telling their audience right now. But
Looks
let
like
me ask you,
Jeff
what's going on?
has dropped out, mate. So you might just have to send him the
Yeah,
link
he's
again.
co- he's coming. He's coming back in. I just sent him the link again. But in the meantime, let me ask you, what do you think about the latest developments in the Philippine YouTube
Well,
community? And
I
I know that you are a guy who often, follows the drama.
well, I'm really pleased that the Pinoy Troll has come back, because I really feel that we need him at the moment. There's been a bit of a lull, and the likes of the Vafangulu chair and Bummer and all these other lowlifes are getting a bit of a leg up. So I think we need to put them back in their place. But look, I'm I've naturally I've been following this whole Terence in Bohol and all this other nonsense. But look, yeah, I've had a bit of a 180 degrees. I hope these guys make a bomb out of YouTube. I would love to see Terrence with $100,000 in his GoFundMe account, because it's all these fucking idiots that are sending these scammers money. That they're the ones that need to have a good hard look at themselves, not the scammers themselves. So look, yeah, I'm now a big fan of Terrence in Bohol. That me budget Chris Wren, I hope he gets $100,000. Heart Attack Mike, I'd love to see him with $200,000 in his account, because it's all these fuckwits that are sending money to these guys and propping them up. Don't you just laugh when you see these idiots sending money, to these scammers? I was kind of watching in on Bummer's live feed today. He had a live cast, and he kind of mumbled under his breath that he'll buy a new laptop when he earns $180 through his super chat. What kind of an idiot would send Bummer $180? Well, evidently there are quite a few idiots, because people do send money, and I wonder why. Why would you send money? Anyway.
Will, that's a very, very good question. Why would you send money to a person who is actually able to work, to save money or improve his life by himself? And that's true for a lot of these guys. But you also mentioned him, Bama, earlier, and I tell you what, I do not believe what I have heard coming out of his channel, because he said he's going to Guam, he is going to do that visa run. And I tell you what, we will not see any vlogs about Guam, because there will be 1,000 reasons why he won't show us, because I have a suspicion that he might not even go anywhere. You know what?
He'll say that he went to Guam, but he dropped his phone into a pool in the hostel he was staying in.
Exactly.
Some bollocks like that.
A lot of excuses. And I'm telling you that he might even say, I will show you my ticket to Guam, but Alo has to show his face, John Doe, and everybody else, you have to show your face, else I will not show you my visa stamps. I bought the ticket to Guam 2,500 years ago. That's the fucking bullshit that he will put out.
Come here,
fat boys. And then he's pounding on the fucking table. The guy is not going to Guam. The guy only wants you to believe that he's going to Guam. Because if this is about the visa run, you could go to Kota Kinabalu. You could go to Hong Kong. You could go to any of these other Southeast Asian cities with Cebu Pacific or Air Asia or whatever, and it would cost him a lot less. But he keeps telling you guys that the reason why he went away from Minganilla is another than the truth. He keeps telling you guys that the reason why he's going to Guam is other than the truth. In this case, he says he has to go to an American territory. Everybody who knows how to use the internet a little bit, the Google and so on and so forth, will tell you that is just fucking BS. He is full of lies. He is trying to scam again, and he wants the money out of your pockets. But in some cases we are not even allowed to speak out the truth anymore, because then we are just called haters. I would like to talk a little bit about the obsession Frank has for you, Jerry. So how do you explain that?
I'm not really sure. I wasn't aware of this obsession, but I'm flattered to know. Frank, thanks very much. I really do appreciate all the attention. But I was delighted to see Bummer rock up to Frank's place there. Maybe it was Bummer who had taken those videos of Frank's place before, seeing that he knew exactly where he lived. Did anybody ever consider that?
That might be possible, but the thing is that Frank thinks that I am the one behind these videos, or at least
you're
that
the mastermind.
I know. Yeah,
you and your piece of shit Honda drove by. I know.
Exactly. I mean, these days everybody thinks that I am behind everything, and I don't want to destroy these fantasies, so I usually would confirm it by saying, yes, that's all true. That's all true.
You pull my strings. You know you pull my strings.
And
you're the puppet master.
Exactly, and I manipulated you to do things that nobody else would have done, right?
Yeah,
So
That's right. You got in my head, and I called up and said, "Does Donald Carr have a degree?"
and
Now, my
everybody got
immediate
super
thought.
mad about it. Everybody
I
got
know.
super upset about
I
it.
know.
Let's do a sound check with the Pinoy Troll. Pinoy Troll, do you hear us? Can you say something so we can hear if we can have you back on the panel? Jeffrey, are you there?
You know Jeffrey will be back when you hear roosters.
That's true. He keeps coming back in and drops out all the time, so he might have an internet problem where he is right now in Olongapo. But let's talk a little bit about his latest vlogs. You know, Jeffrey was right on the money, and if you guys haven't subbed to his channel yet, I
Yep.
will leave the link in the comments, or I would like to ask one of the guys who has a ranch out there if you guys could just copy and paste the link of his channel, and then you guys could go over there and sub, you know. And for the guys who don't know who the Pinoy Troll is, he is one of the legends in this community because the guy has bashed so many people, and rightfully so. He has called out so many guys, Bama, Vandever, other guys, and he was right on the money. So he became that guy everybody enjoyed to watch and listen to. And everybody was actually very excited when they heard, hey, the Pinoy Troll is coming back, because in the last few months, we always tried to get him on the show, and we always tried to convince him, Jeffrey, you need to get back into doing these vlogs because we, the guys on the right side, expect you
Jeff,
to come back.
well, the Pinoy Troll was the original. You know, if you take your mind back a couple of years ago, none of the big channels, no one was willing to talk about the hobo at that time. It was too toxic, you see, and the Pinoy Troll was the first channel to do any kind of live cast and really take the fight up to these other guys. And I guess we can almost say that he kind of galvanized support in the war against the hobo at that time, and then it was the war against Bama and the war against the Vafangulu chair as well.
He was the face of the fucking campaign, right? That's what you're trying to say, and he is.
Yeah, he was before the alliance got. Before the alliance got started, he was it. I mean, he was the one back. I mean, he was reading textbook psychology and all other stuff, and he basically got the alliance going. Jerry, did you come after him or before him? You came after him too, right?
I think at about the same time.
You started putting You started putting the Peter mask on it.
I know that was the Peter mask was way after. That was way after the cartoons. I think my first vlog was within weeks of the Hobo's legendary Montelli interview. You know, the I'm a Philippines national interview. I made my first vlog a few weeks after that. It was one of my comics, my cartoons.
I got a C-130 waiting for me in the jungle to fly me out.
And did you know that's exactly one of the reasons why Frank still keeps talking about you, Jerry Rizzo, because of these masks. Because he thought if somebody takes its time doing these masks, cutting them out, doing vlogs about him, you must be a fucking sociopath. I'm asking you now, are you a sociopath? Isn't it that you might be the one who is obsessed with Frank?
Well,
Tell us.
According to Frank's definition of a sociopath, that's probably me. But yeah.
But you never.
What did you guys think of the great meeting between the Vafangulu chair and Bama?
I'll say this, but you never did a Frank mask, did you? I don't remember.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, there was a Frank mask as well. Yeah.
I liked it. I like the first one where he says, I was sitting there and the Curacao motorcycle come up and I said, who the hell is that? She said, Bama. I said, who's Bama? Oh, Obama.
Yeah, she would have been calling out, Prank. Here.
My brother worked 24 years for the NBA. Going to get you. Fucking horse face.
You need to be very careful what you say because he will file cases against each and every one of us. And he actually defines most of us here on the panel as fucking sociopaths. But when you look at the
We are.
behavior, what he does is fucking textbook sociopathy. Because one time,
Hey, we didn't spend 1 hour going for a Starbucks to have a hot date with a crippled girl.
And to tell you something else, he said that we threatened him, or at least a couple of us. You might also take one of his vlogs, where he was actually whispering our names. At least one of the names that he whispered was "Alo, you're a sociopath. Alo, I'm coming for you." And then you saw a drawing, and then something like red ink, and one could mistake it for blood. Red ink dropping on a piece of paper. If I would take that and say, look, I feel threatened because somebody here with a very strange behavior on social media is trying to come after me and causing harm. And in combination with all these other videos where he was yelling into the cam, where he was making threats, where he was talking about physically attacking people in Cebu, Fuente Circle. I mean, we all have the copies, and we saw that he was threatening other vloggers. So this is not the first time. And what amazes me is the way how he looks at things. It's for him, it's basically a one-way street. When he calls other wives and girls bar girls, he did it to one of the guys over on these other channels just lately, and he totally denied it. He said, "I never called your wife a bar girl." And you know what that other vlogger, that other live streamer did? He pulled it up and showed us on his live stream what Frank actually called his wife. He asked the question, "How much did you pay for your bar girl?" And I know that you guys out there know who I am talking about. Totally uncalled for, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Well, not
he's
only
a
that,
hypocrite.
he talked about putting people in danger, and he said this other blogger was, evangelizing among the Muslims and trying to convert the Muslims, and which is bullshit. Just so that he would think he could get some, he's going to report him to ISIS and stuff and tell ISIS where he lives. That all came from him.
Mm-hmm. Yep, hypocrite.
Yeah, as I said, it's always a one-way street.
Well, he's also, I don't know if you heard the vlogs, he was saying, I'm Italian, and I have some connections, meaning mafia connections. And if I wanted to, I can make you guys disappear if I didn't want to go the legal route. It's all bullshit. But, I mean, that's a threat in itself.
The thing is this: when he threatens others, and he has threatened so many people again and again, it's not really a big deal. When he has an outbreak, he calls people all kinds of names. But when you somehow make a comment against him, he takes it out of context and thinks it's just wrong, and he thinks that he has been threatened, or that that everybody else is the villain, and he is just the guy who just
but he's
follows
such a
the law.
pussy. He's a pussy. I mean, the couple times he went on Dave's show to explain himself, he couldn't answer the question, so he ran away and then started crying like, "I can't stand Dave Phelps. How dare Dave Phelps ask me those questions? Blah blah blah." Dude, Dave gave you a chance to go on and explain yourself, and then he runs into Ren, does the same thing, little wusses out, and like a little pussy.
He wants to be able to control the narrative, and he wants to be able to rewrite history. You see, for the chair, he's the kind of person who's motivated by recognition. That's what he wants. He wants recognition, and if you look back to his original fund, you see. What he wanted to do was collect money, okay, then present it to his girlfriend to use for her kids. And in the chair's perverted mind, there's nothing wrong with that. But, to all of us, that's just wrong. That's the same as that other idiot in Naga, Chris Wren, who started a collection for some girl's teeth, to have her teeth fixed, her braces.
And then he married her.
Find out that it was his girlfriend,
It was his girlfriend.
And then later on he married her, his wife.
And then
It's
he
just-
fucking wanted, and then he asked for donations for a fucking drone. And
Yeah, yeah.
and then he wanted donations for. Now he's working on a freezer for his mother-in-law's
Oh,
freezer
Jesus.
for a sorry
Yeah.
store.
And you never
Fucking-
know, mate. There might be, some booby implant sometime in the future. Fucking GoFundMe for the boobies. Who knows? But it's
And,
never
and he
ending
said,
with all
"This
these
is my
grants.
budget. This is my budget wedding." And he fucking shows like
No, he goes,
Jolly
It's,
Bees.
it's me budget. Me
me
fucking
budget.
budget. Me
I can live on
budget. Get the accent
$300 a
right.
month. Yeah.
Yeah, I know all
Okay.
these fucking hobos. They should. What they should do, mate. They should get a whole island, right? Pay off all the locals to move off the island, cover it around with fucking razor wire, and call it Hobo Island. And any of these fucking idiots that live on $500 a month, they should drop them on that island, take their money from them that they're getting sent by the governments, and let them live out their days there.
Hey,
Yeah, it's like an internment camp. You
before he
might call
gets on, I get contacted by people saying, "Will, how dare you do this? You're hurting these poor kids. Can't get backpacks because of what you did on RR radio. That these poor kids now won't get backpacks because of what you did. You should be ashamed of yourself."
That's basically what they often do is emotional blackmailing, and they try to let you feel bad about yourself, because that's exactly the mechanism behind this. They use poverty, they use school children, they use the poverty in the Philippines to profit from it, and they basically want everybody just to shut up, because
hello.
it would be morally wrong to question
Mate,
it.
it looks
Yes,
like,
sir.
Looks like we've got Jeff. We've got Jeff back. with
Hey,
sound.
Jeffy!
Jeffrey, say something.
He started barking.
That's,
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah. What's up?
Okay, good. Since it's so hard to fucking talk to you, put it all out. I want the 5-minute rant against Frank and Bama. Tell us exactly why we should unsub from their channels. Tell us exactly why we should not pay or give them any money. Please, go ahead, Jeffrey.
No, go ahead and repeat that. I'm just listening to how you guys are having a conversation about the kids, I guess.
Yeah, the kids, the street kids. People use poor street children because they want to get money from people, good people in the West, to send it over to them to supposedly they claim that they are supporting these street kids, but at the end of the day, they're probably just trying to profit from the poverty in the Philippines. And some people over in the Philippines have gotten into trouble because of that, because they didn't have the proper documents to engage in such activities. But I hope you can hear us right now, Jeffrey Pinoy Troll. I would like to ask you a question. Tell us why are you back on YouTube, and tell us what is your mission, because I have watched your first couple of vlogs, and it seems that you are here on this social media platform because you want to continue the fight against miscreants such as Bama, Frank, and a couple of other guys. Please tell us.
Yeah, I just get sick and tired of the e-begging part. See, that's the thing. They create a YouTube channel as far as a platform to show other people the beauty of the Philippines, right? Well, the thing is, they figured out that the more they produce content and show how they live, and then try to to tell sub story why they ended up in the Philippines, because they can't make it in the United States. So, and then they show the places that they live in. And then you have people that just say, "Hey, man, that thing it's a rough life," right? And then they took that opportunity and start asking for money as another supplement for whatever they're getting from the taxpayers' money. See, that's the thing that really pisses me off, right? Is they make up all this sickness, and let's say we have a medical document that proves that I'm disabled. But you go to another country, seems like your disability disappeared. right? One should get these benefits. And top of that, they tell the whole world basically their sub story, how they become disabled, blah 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 blah, and the next thing you know, say please help me. Okay, if you
Or
want to
they- or they-
donate, you know,
Or they have a heart attack and ride to the top of the mountain the next day on a motorcycle.
that's correct. I mean, you know, this fucking thing is just like going bungee jumping and fucking swinging on a fucking, you know, cable. I mean, really? You know, you're fucking, you know, this is just fucking unreal, right?
Well, you're new. I
You're
mean, you're back.
disabled.
You're returning to the scene. But did you see Heart Attack Mike? He did a video where he had a heart
Oh,
attack,
yeah.
claiming it came because he took Viagra and tried to have sex with his girlfriend, right? And then he was asking
Yeah.
for funds for his heart attack fund.
Yeah, it started from him, you know, and then everybody's got an idea. Well, actually, it started with an old gentleman. It's an old YouTuber that got kicked out in the Philippines
Pop
for
C,
doing that.
65, yeah.
That's right. Yes. So, and then everything follows, and they're trying to be sneaky about it. But the problem is, they're not sneaky enough because people see through. You know, like Frank, right? Fucking, he's disabled. You know, he's collecting this much. You know, and he's the biggest fucking liar. That's why they call him the tree, right?
Yeah. Or
It's just
Bama,
now he's in the
Bama,
Philippines showing
which you
his
pointed out
life.
years ago. I mean, you told everybody what he was. You pointed him out, and he sits there and drinks and smokes and beats his girlfriend on YouTube, and you know, humps her on YouTube, and then I'm disabled. I'm disabled. What the fuck?
And then he's got a nice
But the
pair of
number,
jumpers,
the
right?
number of these assholes in the Philippines, it's staggering. You know, when I was over there in January, you know, there's that just where Ermita meets Malate there, along Pedro Gil. There's a mini stop right next to
Yeah,
McDonald's.
that's
You go along that street any time of the day. At that time, I was actually looking for the hobo, and it's staggering just how many fucking bums there are hanging around that part of Manila. Incredible. You know,
Yeah,
and,
but that's the capital, pretty much. Well, Angeles City is the capital for that, but you know,
Was that
Malate-
about the time?
There, Jeff. There's this
Was that about the time
one
the
spot there in-
professor? Was that about the time the professor filmed Peter Vanderveer's head with the worms coming out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not even 200 meters from where I'm describing. Not even 200 meters. Yeah. Yeah, that was a bit of a classic. You know, the old.
it's pretty classic when I watched that video. And you got Mike twice now having a heart attack. One is he had a heart attack and went to Hong Kong, right?
Yep.
And stayed there. I don't know if you guys recall that video. I don't know if it's the same one or he had another heart attack in a fucking mountain. I don't know. I mean,
No, he's had
I don't
another heart
follow-
attack since there, Jeff.
And now he's trying to get money
Yeah.
for a tombstone for his father-in-law, or suspect fire-in-law. But I was like, get a 2-for-1. Get one for yourself while you're at it.
yeah. And then he's saying, all right, and then he's showing how helpful he is, trying to donate. And some of these people, like, he's trying to make, there's another video that he went around in Manila and changed the well pump, the pump for the well, and he's trying to say, okay, this is it. And the next thing you know, here is the begging part. And he's got a lot of followers that, feel sorry on the conditions where how these people live and what he's doing. So
Yeah.
they support his
He puts
YouTube.
But
like
the difference
sad
to Mike-
puppy dog
The
face on.
difference to Mike, I mean, Frank raised a few $100s. Chris Wren raised maybe a couple thousand. This dude raised $34,000 on the Patreon last I looked. I'll GoFundMe, I think. $34,000. I mean, people live on what?
34,000, he can get a bionic heart.
Fuck, and he can fly
the
back to
bionic
the
man.
States, get all the help he needed for his heart. I
Right.
mean,
Not
Obamacare,
34
all that
times.
bullshit. Exactly. But no, 34,000, I can't afford it. I can't afford it.
Yeah. Look,
No.
in all
I think that's
seriousness,
what
I think one of the old members of this very channel, he made the point that, look, we don't wish this guy any ill harm. We don't want him to die. But damn, he had an opportunity to hop on a plane and go back to a country where he would get the very best of healthcare. But instead, he chose to put his hand out and get other people to fund his treatment. When, in a country like the Philippines, there are a god awful number of people that could have used that money. A lot of people would die of heart attacks when he could have gone back to a country and had it done for free.
Of course.
That's correct.
But he,
So
he
why?
gets on with his sad puppy dog face, and his orange George Bush Senior eyes.
All
and,
these trolls,
he looks
all
so
these
sad.
trolls are against me. All these trolls are against me.
Yeah, that's.
I liked his early videos, but he
MO,
kept getting. I mean, he kept getting dumped from one girl after another. The one, I didn't know she was married, and I didn't know those 3 kids were hers. And fucking, I didn't know.
Yeah, that's right.
Always an excuse, and he's always got a sad story to tell. Every time he gets into a relationship or anything like that. Same thing with Bama. Ain't no different. And then there's another guy.
How many times has Bama been dumped?
Oh, God knows no. And then
I think it's the other. I think it's the other way around. I think Bama dumps the girls when they realize, or let's say when he realizes that they are even poorer than he is, right? Because that's actually the type of girl he always runs into, because they somehow want to improve their living standard.
Yes.
That's why they think, okay, Bama as a white American might be an opportunity here, right? Because the guy looks terrible. The guy has no money. He also has no teeth, at least not
smokes
for
like
real.
a chimney.
Is basically a total loser, and still manages to get one girl after another. And I tell you why: because when he hooks up with these girls somewhere in these bars that he usually hangs around, which is actually also kind of weird for a guy who always claims he has no money. When he hooks up with these girls, they think that he seems to be a nice guy. And the only reason why they do so is because he misrepresents himself. And then when he realizes that there is no money to get from these girls in the form of financial support, in the form of an apartment or something like that, then he just dumps them. Because it's basically mooching off the poor people in the Philippines. And I know he will hear this and he will try to attack us again, but at least we are more... At least we have a little bit of a reinforcement here. Have you seen, or did you realize that's the pattern there, Jeffrey? Misrepresenting himself, and then trying to take advantage of these poor girls. What do you think about that, Jeffrey?
Well, I think you're right to the point there. We're right on. Hit it, and that's his. It's always been his persona, and he gets in with these girls, just hoping that these girls are going to take care of him, gonna provide the shelter for him, and he's gonna live like a king, and he can still do the things that he wants to do.
Well, it's not like girls. I mean, he
But
does the Matt Wilkie, and then Jay, and then now supposedly he's supposed to visit Johnny Warrior, and I bet he hit up Frank up for a room in the back. I mean. Now he wants to go to Dumageddon. Who knows who wants to hook? Yeah, I don't know who he wants to hit up in Dumageddon, but he supposedly wants to go to Dumageddon. Well, come on.
Probably what's his name, Mr. Brown. I don't know if he wants to see Mr. Brown there.
Yeah. So I want to ask you a question, Jeffrey. What do you think of Terrence? You've been following Terrence?
Oh, I've been following Terrence. This guy collected more than $1 million fucking pesos, right? And some of that goes to the community.
Fucking hell.
Way more now he's starting. I warned him before, and I said, it's gonna catch up to you. You're not realizing it. I mean, you're in a fucking tourist visa, right? And it's one of the rules that you can't do nothing if you're in a tourist visa, because you're not a resident. You're not a permanent resident here. So even if you're a permanent resident here in the Philippines, you still have to go through all the paperwork from DSWD, the BI, and whatever it is, the licensings to where you're at, to make sure that you're operating, in a legal way on a nonprofit organization. But this fucking guy is just not listening. He's gonna do it
Oh, he's
his
a
way.
scammer. He's always been a scammer.
And
I mean, he
no,
tried to
he's
bring it.
always been
He collected
scamming
money to
since
bring
he
his
got
wife
there.
over from China years ago. It's a repeatable pattern with him. He just scams.
Yeah, and then he gets all the trust, especially this Mr. Rich guy. I call him Little Bit Rich. That it keeps sponsoring uh, whatever he requested, because he'll show all the living condition on that little community he's got. Okay, now his wife's brother is the pastor, right, for the church. Then you got the lady with the back problem, and then you got a lady that's looking for a husband. He get that thing done. So
Well, it
this
gets worse than
motherfucker
that.
is-
It gets worse than
or
that.
whatever it
You
is.
have one YouTube blogger collecting money to renovate the church, and then he goes there on his YouTube and says, "We're taking over this project," and collect the money for it. I'm like, come on, dude. The other guy, you both collect the money for the same thing. One of you's not paying into the fund. I know it.
And no, he's not. And then you got this other guy that is part of the community that fucking built a fucking house in a rice field. You know how much? Really? I mean, during the fucking monsoon or the typhoon or rainy season, how much is gonna get flooded? Plus, it's not even his land, and he's this guy is between the blind owl, Terrence, and a bunch of clowns that's living on that little in the hole are just they got it all figured out.
They sure
All right.
do.
They got to figure out how to suck money from different places, from all their patrons, all their subscribers, because they're showing, okay, well, we're trying to build this community, just like he started a GoFundMe to build this fucking road.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I don't have any
Exactly.
issues like with somebody like Dan who accepts care packages and stuff. He doesn't claim it's for the poor, disabled people and stuff like that. But I have issues with somebody claiming, but I have issues with people like Terrence that collect money and then skim off the top, or put it in their pocket or whatever they're doing. In fact, I don't even think Terrence is married to Beth, because he came back from Thailand and claimed he had to get a new tourist visa. Well, why didn't he just come back with a Balikbayan visa if that's your wife? Why would you freaking apply for another 13A visa? I don't think they're even legally married, to be honest with you.
No, I mean, that's one thing I don't understand, because I'm married to my wife and I have a 1 year Balikbayan. So all I have to do is
Exactly.
just get out of the country for 48 hours.
I
and
got
come
one
back
too.
and
I got one too. I mean, it's the easiest way to do it. And you go back, come back in. He had to apply for a new visa, or maybe he does have one. It's another reason for him to collect money to scam people. I need a new visa. Come, go fund me for a new visa money, whatever.
Indian guy that he's trying to help out and trying to fly him out, and then find out that was his girlfriend, the Canadian's girlfriend with a 2-year-old daughter, and then finally they got him out. But so now this is gonna be another key for him to make a tremendous amount of donation. Okay, now he's gonna show this young girl with the, with the kid, right?
Yeah.
That get left behind by this Canadian guy. That there's gonna be no return for him. He's gonna be permanently blacklisted in the Philippines because of what happened. Out of 3 years, he owes the Bureau of Immigration, right? He's staying in the Philippines illegally, for 3 years. So he's out. He went back to Canada. All right.
How do you think Vandiver got out of the country?
Well, I think Vanderveer, I think the deal with Vanderveer is a fucking hobo. He has no choice but to surrender, and I created an agreement with, the consulate, the U.S. Embassy, that he'll never set foot again in the Philippines.
They paid his fees and his trip back, you think?
Jeff is right. He got a repatriation loan
Yep.
from the United States Embassy there in Manila.
And the problem with him is he's going to be banned to go from another country because of what happened here in the
Yeah,
Philippines.
he won't get they won't issue him a passport until he pays it all back, right?
That's right. And no matter what it is, he can't leave the country until he shows that, that he's going to go to another country, like maybe Thailand or Vietnam or Cambodia or whatever he wants to go, that he's got to show that I believe that's going to be an agreement where he's always going to have a return ticket, but it can't stay there for any longer than maybe 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my understanding is. When you get blacklisted to one country, it's going to be tough for you, to go to another country because of the situation that you're in. I don't know if that whole thing changed.
When do you think Terrence will be finally kicked out?
Well, he's on his way. I guarantee you that. Once the DSWD and the BI and the NBI gets involved, that's it. There's no way out on that. No matter what he's pledged, he can beg and blah 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 and try to explain, because his argument is, I'm helping the poor. I didn't know. Being ignorant of the law is no excuse.
Well, we filed the paperwork. We went to the lawyer. We went to the government, and they said we don't need a paper. All this other bullshit he gives her.
Yeah, bullshit. That's another. That's always been the. It's always been the excuses. Oh, we went to this place. They said this. They said that. They said they're gonna take care of it. So we continue what we're doing. They didn't follow up until people start reporting him and say, "Hey, look, you got a guy here that started a nonprofit organization and collecting tremendous amount of money, and now the government are interested. Okay, how much money do you have? How much have you collected? Where's our share?"
Why do you think someone like him gets so much attention, but somebody like Heart Attack Mike just flies under the radar?
Well, because with Mike, he's a little bit. He stay away from, not too long in one place. He moves around. That's the difference. Just
okay.
like the hobo. That's why he become undetected for so long, because he's mobile. He'll stay in one place and visit this and blah blah blah, and then he'll share. But not like Terrence. He built a home, married a Filipina, and then on this whole hilltop in fucking Bohol, right? And then he created a community there with a bunch of old guys from different places, foreigners.
So things are handled basically regionally in the Philippines. So it has to go to the regional office, and they have to track you down, figure out who you are. And by then they've moved on, is what you're saying, right?
That's right. And it's very hard to track once you start moving around in the Philippines.
And also, and mind you as well, just Heart Attack Mike was collecting money for himself, whereas Terrence was collecting money for charitable works, and that's quite different. I think that's where Terrence has found himself with issue with the law there. He's working. Technically, he's working in the Philippines without a visa.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the problem is, he's showing it in YouTube. I'm helping this. I'm giving this money. This come from this subscriber and giving it to you. And then I say, how dumb can you be?
And you go to GoFundMe or Patreon, and you see how much people have given already.
Oh, it's staggering.
Well, in a Patreon, he's got 92 or 95 devoted subscriber there.
That pledged $25 a month, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around that. Probably the lowest he gets is probably about around 50, maybe, or 20.
And let me ask you both a question.
Yeah.
How complicit do you believe his girlfriend Beth is in this whole scam?
Oh, I think she's a snake. I mean, I honestly think she's a snake. And I read her book on Amazon, because I have a free subscription to Amazon ReadMe, and he wrote it. She could never write that in English language like she wrote in that book. And so they're trying to collect money other ways too, selling books on Amazon and other bullshit.
Terrence found a partner. It's a perfect partnership between the two of them, right? Oh, he's going along, she's going along with it because I bet you they have a lot of money stashed for whatever their goal is.
Oh, I think they're
Okay.
going to Thailand. I think
Remember
they're going to go to
from the
Thailand
very beginning, right?
all over again.
They want some kind of in vitro fertilization, right? They want to collect money from the very beginning,
I think that's bullshit.
and
I think,
they want.
I think he faked going to the hospital to get his dick fixed so he could collect money. I bet that never even happened. I bet he never got a reversal.
Yeah. So I just this guy from California, from being married to a Chinese girl before that, left her, and then he's got this sad story that he lost his house and all.
I think he's
this
on his.
stuff.
I think he's on his 5th marriage already. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. So this guy is it's a veteran when it comes to, okay, for the passion of a lot of people, a lot of Christian people, right?
Oh yeah, he doesn't even
Especially
believe in God. He
showing
doesn't even
people
believe in
when-
God himself. He's coming off a few things. I don't believe in this God stuff. I don't believe in this. I don't even fucking think he fucking comes from England. I think he makes up his accent. Now Jerry understands the English accent better than I do, but
No,
I
I'd
think
say he is British for sure. He's got
he's
a very
British for sure.
yeah.
His
He's
little
got a, like a
sad story.
Manchester
He's what?
accent.
Now they took that video down. That one video was pretty good. Explained he comes from the coal mine and showed his house and this other bullshit. And they managed to get that video taken down. But it was called Terrence
that,
Flannery, Saint or Sinner.
Yeah, that's right. That was the village people in
Oh
Cebu.
God, that was good video. I mean, he must have spent every penny he had to freaking get that thing taken down.
I think it was just a copyright strike, as far as I know.
Yeah, something like that. He got it taken down. But
and I think it just kind of too far from it. I think.
Hey guys, just can I just change the topic here for a second?
sure.
I just want to mention this other fella who's been on my radar for a while. That big fat toothless fuck, MGTOW Terry.
Oh,
You know this guy?
No, I don't know him.
He's been floating around the channels for a while. He's got this channel called. Hello, you still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you know the guy I'm talking about, MGTOW Terry.
Yeah, I know the guy. I know the
Well,
guy.
he's another one of these hobo
Yeah,
fake preachers. You know, he's got a few religious
Oh yeah,
channels. and
yeah,
he's got
I've
this
seen it.
MGTOW
Yeah, he talks
know,
about the
this-
whole casting out demons, and the next thing he says, "This is a
Yeah,
bar girl.
that's him. That's
This is a
him. Now,
bar
can you
girl.
believe
This is
this-
a, wait, what?"
Yeah,
the guy who lives in his car. The guy who lives
right, that's him, yeah. So he's always banging on about how much he hates Filipino women because they're scammers, and then he's got these, casting out demon videos. Well, this lowlife is currently in AC, hitting the bars. What a hypocrite. He's got these religious channels. I'm not criticizing him for going to AC. I think the very best of us have been to AC and played around a little bit, but such a fucking scammer. No different than a hobo carrying on about the religion. But he carries on like that. He's got loads of videos uploaded at the moment in Angeles City.
I'm very surprised about this, but it's really a contradiction in itself, because this is a guy who always bashes Filipinas. The problem is that the type of women that he meets are the ones that he is engaging now with the ones in Angeles City, and they have another intention toward a guy like him, because he is obviously
Right.
not the
When you're a
guy
big,
around
fat, toothless, gross man like that,
yeah.
the only kind of woman that you can attract is a scammer.
And what other motive will they have? Because he complained a lot about certain women who took advantage of him, and then went to the U.S. Basically, used him to go to America. And if you know what kind of person he is, you wouldn't be surprised, because everybody would just try to take advantage of somebody like him. I mean,
Yep.
does he have no mirror in the car?
Well, I think he
Nah.
actually fancies himself. He does believe he's always kind of flicking his hair, and when he goes to the gym, you can see him kind of flexing his biceps in the mirror, looking at himself. Oh man, this guy, he's a piece of work. He's a
Because certain women tell him that he is a good-looking guy. I mean, he must have been if he is an uncle, then they must have tell him, hey, you're a good-looking guy. And since he is so fucking delusional, he might even believe it. And then he will bring, I think, woman number 5 to the US. And after a couple of months, at least after she gets the green card, she might leave for someone else. Why else would you be with a person like that in the first place? That's the question. And that's the question he should ask himself. That's the question he should ask himself. But that's not only true for him. There are a lot of guys out there who think that they are good looking. There are a lot of guys out there who think that the woman who tells them they are good looking, they are smart, they're a genius, and so on and so forth, they really believe that. That's why we have so many fucking clowns around here in this Philippines YouTube community, because they think that they are it. They think they are the bomb, and they are actually not. They are
Well, LBFM, you know, that stands for, right? LBFM.
I have heard of it. Yeah.
Little brown-
it's like,
Little brown fucking
it's the same
machines.
thing. You'll catch up to them. It's just a matter of time. Just like that Marco guy, right? He's thinking
Yes.
he's good looking,
Oh yeah.
right? So
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember Marco, right? So he's not trying
Bebots,
to
of course.
at Babbitts only, right?
Mm.
So, and guess what? Because he's saying you're caught in a fucking hotel room, right? With your fucking underwear, with 2 young girls there. And you're saying that if they're just jealous. Really? You got 2 underage girls.
I just
Right?
give them French
You're
fries.
making money on them.
Yeah, only French
I
fries.
just want
Is
to
your
help poor
dick.
people. That's what he said. That's what he claimed.
Yeah.
Bebos claimed he's just helping out poor people with the dildo and all the sex toys.
I'm
in his
just giving
underwear in the
I'm just
hotel
giving
room.
them French fries. Only French fry I can say is his dick. So
Yeah, it is just like this isn't their blood, Ray. Scammers is a bunch of fucking. This is just like a syndicate. Just like when you guys were talking about kids, right? This is a big syndicate thing here in the Philippines, right?
well,
They use
fucking
the
Chris
kids.
Wren. Chris Wren was like, we're gonna feed 100 children every day. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, fucking what rice soup, right?
Yeah.
God, I mean, anybody can make a fucking rice soup and put it in a big fucking pot out there, and I bet you got a bunch of fucking kids to give around, right? And how much is a fucking pot of rice soup, right? You buy
Nothing.
5 kilos. That'll cost you what? Probably.
Well, even Ned's guilty. Even Ned,
$200-300 pesos. Right?
even Ned with his Jollibee parties. Come
Oh,
on, I
Jesus.
believe he's up. Come on, I mean, I believe he's on the up and up, but still,
Yeah.
come on. What are you taking these kids to Jollibee for? Come on.
This to show that, all right, we're doing something for the future. The future of the country is the kids, right? Yeah, sure. I mean,
Yeah.
this is an old fucking trick in the book that they're trying to keep using because they take advantage of the law here in the Philippines because, you can get away with it.
So
And
Jeffrey,
you
I'm
know,
gonna ask
money-
you, Jeffrey, can I ask you a question?
Listen.
So just changing the topic, but you're Filipino.
Go ahead.
What do you think of these old guys like me who go to the Philippines and marry a younger woman? Do you think we're slime bags, or what do you think?
No, I don't think so because I'm married to a younger woman.
Yeah, but you're not
So,
an old.
I'm
You're
a
not an old.
slime bag?
You're not an old.
No, I don't
You're not
think
an old American.
That's what everybody thinks because I was born here, and I grew up here. Is they're saying, "Wow, that's your country?" No, actually, according to the United States, it's not even my country. I was
Okay.
just visiting here for 19 years because the only difference between a natural born and me being born abroad is just the land, but we have the same rights.
So when you go back home, are you?
Donald
Or do they?
Trump.
So when you go home, do they treat you as a foreigner, or do they welcome you like as a Filipino?
Well, both.
Okay.
See, that's just advantage that I have. It's, because I know the language. I grew up here, right? So I know the area a little bit. But when they look at me, they look at something different. Automatically, they'll say, "Wow, he's got hazel eyes.
Kano,
His nose is
Kano.
really different." Yep. So they know, but here in Olongapo City, there's plenty of us here. They call it immigration.
Okay.
Some people, some GI left their kids here, never honored them, never registered them to the consulate. They never gave them that opportunity, right? So I'm just one of those lucky ones that my
Yeah.
dad,
I think Jeff's
since
the same as the hobo. He's a Philippines national.
yeah, fucking, this fucking guy
I mean,
is
even
so
worse than this,
delusional. He doesn't.
even worse than the scammers, and we don't talk about them enough because they're not as visible. But the slime bags that go impregnate a Filipino and just abandon their responsibility and their children.
That's right.
Those are the worst slimers out there.
And we suspect. Well, I believe is Jay one of my college
Yeah.
Canadians. He's one of these guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some say
Yeah.
Barry is.
Barry, you got Frank. Wow. Probably Frank's balls is all shrinked. Just all dried up like a prune.
Yeah.
So so we won't have to worry about Frank, but you got Bama there, you got Jay, and you got other ones here that come and visit. And now the base is still open here, but the difference are they can't leave the base. Once they dock, they can only stay inside, but they manage to, they still manage to go out. But to where I live right now, they got more foreigners than
Who caused that? Was that did that come from Duterte regime? They have to stay on base, or
no. This is, remember what happened to that gay guy when the Marine killed that gay guy?
He took the transsexual girl to the hotel and then had sex with her and realized it was a guy.
Yeah, and then he fucking
killed her.
He drowned him in a toilet bowl, right? So,
yeah, he ended up getting.
Basically,
and what's interesting about that case, because I followed that case, was that the military wanted to try him and give him maybe the death penalty, but the Philippines refused to turn him over for prosecution. The Philippines prosecuted him. He ended up getting like 10 years in jail.
12 years.
12 years, like 12 years in jail. He would have got life, he would have got life in the military prison had the U.S. tried him.
That's right. And then they settled for certain. It's a big amount of money. So the parents now and the siblings are pretty well to do now. So they took before they said, no, we're not going to take no fucking money. We're going to continue on. We don't want this. Of course, when money is presented to you, of course.
So in the Philippines,
now.
So if you have money involved, would that reduce your sentence in the Philippines?
Of course.
And not in the U.S., they would sentence you to life, and you have to pay back $1 million or whatever, even if you never pay it back.
Yeah. So, but that's the what I call the restitution that you have to pay.
Okay.
So they paid the restitution here. So the speaker of the
will he get probation? Will you get probation after like 6 years, or does the Philippine system not work that way?
No, it doesn't work that way. You got to complete. There's no such thing as probation or parole in this country. You got to complete.
Or time off for good behavior.
Yeah, maybe they'll give you a reduced sentence. Maybe they'll cut maybe 2-3 years out of your sentence. So he might be out of here within probably 8 or 9 years, and then he'll be back in the United States. He'll be kicked out and dishonorably discharged from the military. I don't know if they're going to pursue that case, but I don't think they will, because because of the treaty that I have here. So if you serve a sentence here, it means you completed your punishment, but it's still gonna go on record that you had a criminal record because you're in the military. So I don't know, in the military, I don't know if that applies but every time they're gonna ask if you're been in the service, or every time you apply for a job, they're gonna ask if you've done some military service. Yes. Are you dishonorably discharged or honorably discharged? You're gonna have to ask those questions, and then the differences in the military is, yeah, the background will not show.
Yeah.
See, that's the
Interesting.
difference.
Yeah,
Yeah,
double
it's
jeopardy
their
statutes. I don't
protected.
think they can try him again, but I don't know how that applies to international cases. They could probably try him again if
No,
they
no,
wanted to.
they
No?
can't try him again unless somebody pursue that he needs to do some time in the United States. But the crime was committed outside the border, outside the
Okay.
country. So anywhere you go, as far as like anything happens, like OFW happens, somewhere outside the country, whoever, they caught doing the crime, they're gonna serve that sentence in their country, but they cannot never be prosecuted in the Philippines.
Okay.
But so because it's one of those, they call it a double jeopardy.
Yeah, that's what I
because
said.
you're
So
already
because already been tried.
Yeah.
He's already served the sentence for that. Yeah. Okay.
because he committed the crime here, and he'll be banned forever. And
Well, he got lucky.
I
He
don't
got
know,
lucky that the Philippines tried him, not the U.S.
well, actually, that is that's the thing here, is the thing here, you can kill somebody here, but you don't get a life sentence.
Wow.
Yeah, but you're going to move through the justice system very, very slowly, right? You might be there 6, 7, 8 years before you even have a
Like
trial.
a rape or anything, you'll have a life sentence here. See, that's
Really?
one
Get a-
thing.
you- You'll get a life sentence for rape, but
it's
you
so
won't get a life
twisted
sentence
about
for
the
killing
law here.
someone.
Yeah, it's
So Bebot's is looking at a life sentence, basically, right?
Bebot's gonna be looking for. He's gonna be looking for a long fucking. He's gonna rot here, unless he's got a lot of fucking money to bribe these fucking officials to get him off.
I
But
think his case being so public, it's beyond bribery, right? He just won't get away with that.
yeah,
That's too
no, he
public
won't,
now.
because all the witnesses that come forward, all the complaint that come forward now, and all the young girls that got taken advantage, it's gonna be reported. So it's gonna be hard for any kind of official here in the United States, in the Philippines, to say, hey, we're gonna just cover this up. It's so. Amy. Oh.
He was warned.
It is
He
so
was warned.
difficult.
I warned them and told them to turn him in the FBI.
And just like any of these fucking clowns here, right?
Yeah.
They've been warned and they just ignore it. I say, hey, but this is fucking Philippines. Everything goes. No,
Pure arrogance.
there are certain things. There's certain things that they can't just ignore.
Yep.
One way or another. Especially your
Absolutely.
your social media. Thousands and maybe millions of people have seen this whole, scandal, right?
Yep.
And now people is going to be pursuing, and they're going to make an example out of these two clowns, right?
Yep.
Like Terrence Flannery, right? He's thinking, oh, this is fucking nothing. This thing is just going to get swept underneath the fucking rug. No.
Okay, guys, I gotta go. Bye. Nice talking to you.
Yeah.
See you, man.
So that's the thing, right? So, and that's why I came back to YouTube. It's so disappointing. It's so sickening. I thought, the message been, it's been spread out there, but, a lot of people are still finding a way, just like these little pockets, how they're going to do things. And that's the problem with that. And that's having an issue with it.
Money keeps
That's
on
the
rolling
thing.
in. They're going to keep on trying,
Yeah.
right?
I figure they come here to this country to have a little bit to improve, way of life, the way they live, you know, and blah blah blah. But seems like Philippines are attracted to these fucking losers. The Philippines is just a big attraction for these fucking
Well,
clowns.
when you look at the way someone like Bum is living, there's no way that's an improvement on his living standard, right? Impossible.
All right. Just like Bama can live on a very decent, let's say he makes 500. All right. As a single person, I mean, so how much is the exchange rate right now? So let's say it's 500. So we'll make it, or was that 25?
Yep.
So let's say make it at 20,000 pesos, right? You can find a nice decent apartment for maybe 3 to 5 on the area that he's living, cheap province, right? Electricity is not that much because he's by himself. Actually, he can live, pretty decent. But the fucking guy is just, he's got a criminal mind. It's just, you can't take that away from him, because he's used to it.
And also,
So-
if you have such little money, you've got to make some sacrifices, right? You can't be smoking and drinking and whoremongering.
Well, yeah, you can't fucking, and have like drink all night, every day.
You've got to live
Maybe he
within your
drinks
means,
like,
right?
right? That's right. I mean, you got to learn how to budget your money, to live a pretty decent living. He said he can't make it in United States with a $500 fucking SSI, right? Okay, fine. So I can respect a person that say, hey, I can't live in United States with this guy. I'm gonna move to another country to where my money can go a long way, right? And have a pretty decent living, right? I got this amount of money. You want to start a YouTube channel, and with your own expense, how much is the YouTube channel? Doesn't really cost you much. As long as you have internet, an account, you can make all the videos and make it more interesting to the viewers, right? But the problem is, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go finish.
But they see this big opportunity about this money thing, right? It's free money. Why not take advantage of it? We'll make up good fucking story, even if it is fucking complete fucking lie, right? And that's what I hate the most, right? So how you gonna fund your fucking travel with the amount of money that you're getting? All right, the money's gotta come from somewhere, right? So
Look,
some people
I don't see
can't-
why they should be in the country in the first place. I don't believe there should be any place for somebody living in a place like the Philippines of only $500 a month, because you aren't really contributing anything to the economy there. In fact, your competition for very poor people. You're competing with them for resources, for apartments, and all that's going to do, for example, is escalate or increase the price for accommodation for local people. Right now in Thailand, they're tightening the screws on these kind of bums, and even people
That's
on
right.
retirement visas, they're tightening the screws. So I don't think they should make it illegal for people to go and live in places like the Philippines, but you want your high valued people. You want people that can afford to live there, not
and
bums like
spend money,
Bama.
right? And they want the big spender guys that can afford to lavish, lifestyle. That's what they want. Investors, that can bring their money here, their retirement money, invest it in the Philippines. So because the Philippine government will make money. But with Obama, he's just more of a fucking burden. And that's what I see.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly. They're using the
you just
resources,
add on to
but
another-
they're not contributing.
No. His 500 is any call center agent here in the Philippines right now makes that much, make that kind of money starting,
Exactly.
right? So why would you allow a
Yeah.
foreigner with a $500 fucking income a month, just to renew your visa is going to cost you, right? So every 30 days, every 6 months, or a year, right? That's gonna cost you a lot of money. Like Terrence.
Yep.
Terrence Flannery, right? He's in a tourist visa. So you know how much it costs him. You know, even a regular foreigner that comes to the Philippines after 21 days, after your first visit, then you got to renew your visa, right? After that, it's 3 months, 6 months, or maybe if you can afford a year, fine, right? So that's still a big amount of money. $100 here, you know, or more. And then that's, you know, a month. That's something that, you know, you can't really afford. And then,
Yeah.
and then you go to the fucking bar and show your audience that, hey, I'm right here at the strip, right? In Cebu, drinking beer, get together with
Yeah.
other foreigners, right?
I notice Sentai Seven's in the chat at the moment, and he's a mate of Bama's, and I don't think Sentai Seven. I know you're listening. What chance do you think that Bama is actually going to go to Guam and renew this so-called this visa? Is there any chance at all he's telling the truth?
Oh,
I don't think Sentai Seven will answer.
what is it?
One of the guys in the chat there, Sentai
Uh,
Seven, he's pretty good mates of Bama, and he might know
Are the
whether he's
fucking
really going
dogs
to Guam.
eating you or what happened?
I don't know. This is my fucking cousin's dog, so they're just fucking wild.
They're fucking biting you to death on a live stream.
Hey, that's the life in the Philippines, right? So you guys are, you know, you're in Europe. You know, you got this kind of nuisance. They should be shot. You know,
What
somewhere.
happened? What happened to Wally? I was doing something else for a while, letting you guys talk here. What happened to Wally?
You have to go. You have to go suddenly.
Ah, okay, good, yeah.
Anyway, I think I'm going to go as well. It's getting late here in Australia. It's midnight here.
I would like
Fucking
to
fall
say
asleep. You know,
I would like to say thanks to the 60 guys who are listening right now. RRR still number one. I want to thank Wally Wongs for coming on the show. I want to thank you, Jerry Rizzo. Always a pleasure to have you on. We should do that again, maybe in a couple of weeks when we will do the last show of RRR. And of course, our special guest tonight, that's Jeffrey Pinoy Troll Swift. And it is good that you are back, Jeffrey Pinoy Troll. I would like to ask you guys for any last comments, and I would like to start with Jerry Risotto before you quit.
Yeah, the only thing I really want to say is that it's just how fantastic it is to have Jeff back. I think we need him at the moment. We need people like him to be able to call out these fucking losers and try to force a few more of these off. It's just such it's great to have him back. That's all I can say.
You're absolutely right about that, and thank you for coming on the panel, Gerardo Risotto.
No worries.
Jeffrey Pinoy Troll Swift, last thoughts and comments, and I hope also a message for Frank, Bama, and a couple of other guys. What are you planning with your channel? Will we see more vlogs coming out of your channel? Give us an overview, Jeffrey.
Well, first of all, thanks for the people that's listening to this, you know, live stream, and thanks for the subscribers that I get, and all the comments, and thanks for Jerry Rizzo and you and some of the good guys out there that trying to kind of push these fucking losers out of this fucking country to make it more, you know, a better place for expat without getting the bad rap, you know, the red tape. And with these guys in this fucking island, you know, it's kind of tough. But I'm glad to be back, and it's going to be more blogs. It's a combination between tracking these guys that is trying to scam other Westerners and the rest of their subscribers from different parts of the world, you know, asking for money and begging for money to support their fucking lifestyles. It's something that I'm really against it. It's not about jealousy, because, I mean, you know, I understand if it is doing it in a goodwill, in a proper channel, you know, and abiding by, you know, what other countries, laws and rules and and laws, you got to follow. I mean, I have no problem with that, but when people take advantage of a lot of stuff, especially other Westerners and their hard-earned money, and that's something I have an issue with. But thank you for allowing me to come to your show, and just stay tuned. I got different blogs. I'm showing you what the Longapo is all about, and the places that I go, and it's just a little place, but I'm happy to live here because it's peaceful, and the law is kind of very strict here. So thank you again for this tonight live stream. I appreciate everyone that subscribed. Thank you for the support of my channel and you guys. So that keeps it going. So
Gentlemen, I just want to say everybody, or tell to everybody, that you see the link of Jeffrey Pinoy Troll Swift's new channel over there in the chat. I think it is a guy, Jack L with the wrench, who just posted it in the chat. That's the new channel. Go over there, sub, and comment, get involved. Thank you very much for listening to RRR. We will see each other soon. Thank you very much, and good night, good afternoon, wherever you are. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.